This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Why? Because I refuse to sell knives door to door. I'm Pete the Planner, and I'm going to answer the questions. Here's how the show works. I explain this every week. Email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. Email me your question. Give me as much details as you want. If you don't send me many details, I'll just make up your details. I'll give you a fake name. Don't really care. Then I'll answer your question. The answer is a really good answer. I can't think of anyone else that you'd rather have answer your question than me, although I'm biased. Here are the 3 questions we're answering this week. We got a do I have enough money to retire question. Oh, hi, Nicole. Nicole's joins us on the show. Hi, Nicole.
Hello, hi.
Okay, I'm going to let you choose what order we go in.
Ooh.
Okay, so we got do I have enough money to retire?
Uh-huh.
I got a rolling over a Roth 401k question and a too much house question. Where do you want to start?
I would like to start with too much house.
Too much house is where it is. This email is from a guy named Jay. As I open it up here on the Pete the Planner laptop, how do we get that sponsorship? You buy a laptop. Dear Pete, I recently came across your article, linked below. I like when people send me links of my articles, because then I get extra clicks. We recently built a new 4-bedroom home where the payment is roughly 30 to 35% of our monthly income. We have 1 child already in daycare at $1,000 a month and currently fund our retirement accounts at 15% and pay extra on principal on the mortgage each month to pay it off within 15 to 20 years. We're in the Minneapolis area. Wife and I are 34 and 31 years old. Our gross income annually is $165,000. Our house is worth $430,000. We owe $370,000. Home equity is $58,000. Emergency funds $25,000. We have $150,000 in retirement savings. So while we can afford this home, we don't want to afford something this large and expensive. We have buyer's remorse, as they call it, and then we moved way too fast to build a home versus buying a less expensive existing home. We could certainly grow into this house as is, but the thought of a 2 to 3 daycare payments and other cash flow concerns on top of this large mortgage payment is worrisome. You know, Nicole, if you look at the word worrisome, it's a strange looking word.
It is.
worrisome. It's like, I think that's wrong, but it's not. It's just a weird looking word.
It makes me worrisome about the word worrisome.
We are seriously considering selling our brand new home. We bought it in late 2017 next spring to search for an older, smaller, less expensive home to downsize our mortgage and tax outlay each month. Our cash flow reduction goal is around $500. New housing payment would go down to $2,000 from where we are at $2,500. We decided to do this for the following reasons. Number 1, to reduce stress. Number 2, to reduce the property tax burden. Number 3, because we can have 2 or 3 more kids. Number 4, to reduce my wife's working hours. Just so you know, you have 2 to 3 more kids. Your wife is going to be working 168 hours a week. With the kids. Then number 5, do all the above while being able to maintain 15% contributions to retirement. Are we insane? Should we sell and downsize or give it more time in this new home? I would love to hear your take on the situation. Look, that's all the time we have for this week. It's a long question.
It was.
Long question,
okay.
but I appreciate all the numbers.
We need all the details.
That's what I said at the beginning of the show. If you don't give me details, I'll make them up. And so this person gave them all to me. What was his name again? Jay.
Wait. The first name, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, here's the thing. Move. Absolutely move. That's a no-brainer to me. I don't know. It's not, I have never in my life seen someone move to solve a cash flow problem in which the move didn't solve the cash flow problem.
It's funny, you talk about this and I automatically think of a good friend of yours.
Yes.
We talk about this all the time because it's the most perfect example.
It's the hardest thing to do. We're so emotionally attached to our home. We have like signs, like crafty signs that say like a home is where the heart is and home sweet home. And some of these are like Aerosmith songs. And like, they're very emotional places. You sleep there.
We get it.
I read a fact the other day that the average home has 10,000 spiders in it.
I read that literally as I was going to bed last night.
So if you think about it from that perspective, you want a smaller home because you'll have fewer spiders, Jay. So I would sell the home. Absolutely. Look, I recently have been writing a lot about used cars and driving your car into the ground. Why should a house be any different? Why should we have these palaces that are just expensive, especially when you have equity in them. Like when you have equity in a home, people are like, oh, I have a lot of equity in my home. That's great because eventually you won't have a payment. But until then, all the equity locked up in your home grows at a 0% rate of return because the home increases in value no matter what equity you have in it. So if you have more equity in it, doesn't mean it grows any faster, and it gets a 0% rate of return. So like the equity that is parked in your home, it doesn't return anything to you. So to me, I think a home is arguably a terrible investment, especially if you're not looking for it to be an investment. In this case, dude's just looking for a place to fill up with babies. Jay, move. Get out. Yeah, I mean, you made a mistake, but the bigger mistake would be staying there. I don't know. Nicole, do you see that? Feel free to disagree, which I need to say from time to time.
No, I feel like every time that we've looked at a housing issue and it's come down to just move, right? Like it might not make the most sense like right in this second, but put yourself in the position for it to come up that way.
I don't know. 4-bedroom home. How many did they say they had kids now? Or he wants 2 to 3? They want to have 2 to 3 kids.
I feel like they might.
Well, he says 2 to 3 more kids.
So maybe they have one?
Yeah, we'll go with one.
We'll go with one.
I
don't know why. I get it. You like your house. You bought your house for a reason. Probably because you liked it, hopefully.
My dad grew up in Speedway, Indiana, on 30th Street, right? So you could walk to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway from the house he grew up in. He had 7 siblings. So my grandparents raised he and his 7 siblings. My grandfather's mother, who we called Cy, her name was Florence, but everyone called her Cy, S-I. Why? I don't know. It's what we called her. And she wore flannel pajamas and a knitting cap. And she called me Tom a lot. But that's okay. We're not making fun. Cy just used to call me Tom. But that's where they grew up. And the home has to be, Nicole, 1,400 square feet. Yeah. And it was, I want to say 2 to 3 bedrooms and then a basement for 8 kids and 2 adults. We don't need these giant homes.
No.
We've said the statistic a lot on this show. Since the 1950s, our homes have gotten 300% bigger than the new homes we built in the 1950s, and our family units have gotten smaller. Now, it does seem like Jay up in Minneapolis, there's a lot of hugging going on around there. They're going to have a lot of kids. They're going to fill up this McMansion.
McMansion.
Yeah, Jay, you have my support. And look, if you regret it, I will give you a money-back guarantee on this. And the money back you'll get is it costs you nothing to email me, and it costs nothing to answer it. I would absolutely move.
Yeah, absolutely move.
Have the courage, Jay. So well, here's the thing. He's 30. Let's go through it a little bit. He's 34 and his wife's 31.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. The way he writes it, it's hard to tell. They've got $58,000 in home equity. Great. That sounds like a really healthy down payment on a more affordable home. $25,000 emergency fund. Perfect. Beautiful. $150,000 in retirement savings. That is excellent. I mean, 10 years from now, it'll be $300,000 if you don't put another dime in. $2,000 a month in retirement contributions and a college savings balance of $2,000. Absolutely move.
Do it.
No doubt in my mind. You know, in terms of paying more on the mortgage, I know that's a thing when you pay more on a 30 to pay it off between 15 to 20. And I appreciate that, especially if you want the flexibility. But if you want the structure, just get a 15-year mortgage and you'll have a lower interest rate. You just don't have the flexibility that if life gets weird. But I'll be honest to you, Jay, you got 25 GER in emergency fund. I don't know if you need that flexibility. I guess it depends how much income you lose when your wife stops working. If you want to be like Jay and be awesome, sell a house that's too expensive. If you also want to be like Jay, email me, askpete@petetheplanner.com. Nicole, you know what's about to happen now. I'm going to forward you this email.
I do.
And you will forward this audio to our friend because he's not listening in Minneapolis unless he's listening to the podcast. I'm Pete the Planner, and this is Michelle.